Hello everybody. Well, here's some examples of what you could use for bait hives, swarm traps. Starting with this one, you can have a box similar to this size, either wood, cardboard. If it's cardboard, make sure it's wax coated. A lot of things are, a lot of stores use wax coated cardboard boxes when they're shipping items, like your produce or, for example. So if you can get your hands on a good cardboard box, if it has a couple of holes for ventilation or whatever, you can seal that up with no problem. But if you use a cardboard box, put something on top, something solid on top to help protect it from the weather as well, even though it's wax coated. But then, the third way is a tote, a plastic tote. You just, on the bottom, you just make 2 half-inch holes. I do half inch because it really stops without doing anything to the hole from any animal, bird, whatever you don't want in there, like squirrels, mice, whatever. Half-inch hole is a good way to go. A lot of people use 1 inch, but I did that, and I even had something on there to help stop them, but it did not work. So ever since I went half-inch, I never had a problem. But that's that. Cardboard or tote, or this wooden box. Now, for the size, this is rounded off. It's 10 inches high, 17, 18 wide. You could probably go 20, and then 20 long. And if you get a wooden box, you obviously want a solid bottom and a good solid top. Now, self-tapping screws, if you mount it that way, you want to use fewer screws to hold the top on, because you're going to have to get all the screws off to get to the bees. Now, that's those 3 types of ways. And a tote, you want to find some way to make sure every inch of that top ain't gonna be able to pop off, and especially if you go to grab it and carry it to the vehicle or however you're transporting it back home once you catch a swarm. And here's the pail. I have I'm gonna make another hole right beside it, probably right about here. I want them somewhat close together, and that way I could put a board. I'm gonna screw in a board here and a board here coming up with self-tapping screws into the pail. Then I'm going to put 2 going this way. And the reason for that, I want the bees to be able to have something to grab onto. So that's very important. Have something that you want something the bees can grab onto, because they're going to cluster at the bottom. And why I put the hole in the very bottom, because when you got that pail hanging in a tree, water's not going to be able to get in there. And also, if you have it hanging in a tree, you're going to want, this is heavy duty wire, and I'm going to make a couple more, one right here and one right about here. And that way, if you put it on a branch, per se, you're going to throw the string up and over the branch, raise that pail right up there. But you want a good thick branch, like maybe that oak up there. You want a good thick branch, and that way, if it's windy, that branch is not likely to move, and you don't want that pail to move at all. That's the reason for the wire. That way you can tie it off to different trees, and that way that pail's not swinging in a tree, in a breeze or wind. Because if you got a cluster or bees in there, and that pail's moving, they're not going to stay. They're going to abandon that. They're going to abandon that. So now the other way is if you have it laying down like that on a platform. That's another video. So keep that in mind. I'm going to have another video of a platform that you can mount these to, and in case you don't want to have it up, hanging in the, like that, hanging in a tree. But y'all have a great day, and I hope this helps. Until next time.